Hello, Internet, and hello, world. This is Daniel Parker. Apologies for not making more videos. Been a little busy with a lot of different things. One of which is, of course, my comic book, Angels Awakening. Mailing list is live. If you haven't signed up for the mailing list yet, please do so. Link is in the description below. I will also be putting links to my Twitter and Instagram, as well as the links to Bogdan Digital Art, who's the artist on Angels Awakening, as well as Nude Cybot, who did the wonderful logo for the cover. If you sign up for the mailing list, you'll get an exclusive trading card when you back the comic book. Alright, now with all that said, on to the video. So the news just broke today that BioWare will be, how shall we say, desexualizing some of the female characters for the forthcoming release of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, one of the characters they're going to be doing this with is the character you see before you, Miranda Lawson, who first made her appearance in Mass Effect 2. Now, the Mass Effect trilogy are some of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, the third game wasn't as good as the first two, and the ending of the whole trilogy was a big disappointment. But overall, I still really enjoy those games, and I've been meaning to go back and play through them again. Perhaps with my original Xbox 360 versions and not the Legendary Edition. So when the announcement came down that they were going to be doing this remastered version of the Mass Effect trilogy, I was really hesitant, and I was really worried because I just had a feeling something like this was going to happen, and sure enough, my suspicions were proven correct. So this is from Bounding into Comics, and I'll link the article in the description below. BioWare to edit sexualized cutscenes in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So what they're talking about is cutscenes like this one, like you see before you, where a lot of attention was paid to some of the female characters' anatomy, particularly with Miranda Lawson. Now, I remember when I played the game, I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, I thought, oh yeah, Miranda Lawson's got a nice butt. But I guess as you might expect, there were quite a few people who didn't like this very much, and you can all guess who those people are. But anyway, getting into the article, they were talking about how, I believe his name is Walters, Mac Walters, when he was talking about going through and changing up the game. And one of the things they are going to do that I do like is some changes with the female shepherd. So from the article, quote, in turning their attention into providing players with a better overall experience, Walters further explained that the team gave special attention to improving the game's handling of the female version of Commander Shepard, whose character lacked customization features, and reused many of the male-centric animations from her male counterpart. This is Walters speaking. Specifically for female Shepard, I think there was a lot of things that we could do across the trilogy to make that better so that she's a bit more on par with male Shepard. Whether it be just some subtle face shape changes or some wrinkles or support or whatever, so she's catching the light and the same kind of quality level. And then specifically around the animations, we couldn't really change a lot of those, but there are times where we could change the camera to not focus on one of those animations. So a male shepherd animation would have him sitting with his legs quite wide open with a low camera, where if you were wearing a skirt, it would be a bit unflattering. So we couldn't necessarily change that animation, but you can raise that camera up slightly to reduce the problem. So that's the part, like I said, that's the part I like. So if you're playing as FemShep and she's wearing a dress, there are a lot of scenes where her legs are wide open. That's just, women don't sit like that. Even military women don't sit like that when they're wearing a skirt. But anyway, but that's not all that they're changing with regards to that camera angle. Specifically, that means they're probably going to raise the camera on scenes like this and the previous one that you just saw. getting back to the article, when pressed on the accusations leveled against the developer that certain characters and designs, such as the all-female Asari or Edie's robot body, were made to specifically pander to a male audience, Walters noted, "I do think a lot of things have evolved since the original games, but I don't know if I would say that we were ultra concerned about it or anything like that, but there were considerations." So basically, if you want to translate that PR speak, they were getting a lot of complaints from the usual crowd, and they're going to change it. According to Walters, Kevin Meek actually called out some of the camera cuts that were just, why was that focusing on Miranda's butt? Because Miranda has a nice butt. That's why they were focusing on it. It's not rocket science. I mean, the character of Miranda Lawson, I mean, she even explains it in Mass Effect 2. She was genetically engineered, and she was designed to be perfect. You know, and she even says it. Her reflexes, her strength, and her looks were all designed to give her an edge, and there's no point in hiding it. Right? It's right there in the game. So in some cases, we said, okay, we can make a change there, he recalled. But ultimately, to change an entire character model or something like that wasn't really... it was a decision that was made as part of many creative decisions, and just showing it at the best possible fidelity that we could going forward is really a choice for all of the art world that we had. So basically, you know, they're going to change the camera angles so that you're not going to get to see Miranda's butt, or you're not going to see many close-ups of her butt as we saw in the original games. So, like I said before, I had a feeling that they were going to do this, and I was proven right. Now, I don't know, I mean, again, I don't know what level of changes are going to be made in the Legendary Edition. So, obviously, we're going to have to wait until March when the game comes out to see what changes they've exactly made. I do know in one change that they are not going to make, and it was stated here in the article, that the controversial ending to Mass Effect 3 is going to stay the same. So there is that, unfortunately. But I find it really interesting that they are doing this with Mass Effect 3, or Mass Effect in general, with Miranda, when in Mass Effect Andromeda you had all of these just full-on nude sex scenes. I mean, it was you know, something you'd watch on late night cable, you know, that level of sexual content. So I just, you know, that it's very hard to keep track of what is okay and what isn't okay with the woke Twitter brigade, and quite frankly, I don't care. I'm just going to, you know, play the original Mass Effect trilogy and enjoy those games. I know the first game looks a little dated, but I still enjoy that game. I still enjoy, well, the first two Mass Effect, and to an extent the third game, given its flaws. But anyway, what I can tell you is, with my comic book, Angels Awakening, we're not afraid of such shots. And I mean it. You know, Bogdan and I, you know, we're not afraid of showing a beautiful woman and her very nice posterior. And I'm serious. We're not afraid of it. All right. Well, that's all I have for the video. Please leave a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As I said before, you can follow me on social media. Links are down below. And if you haven't signed up for the mailing list yet for Angels Awakening, please do so. The link for that is also in the description. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.